What makes coffee special?
Olá, bom dia, Portugal. It's sexta-feira.
What makes you feel at home and stays in your heart forever?
Well, thank you very much to Portuguese Coffee there, GMP episode 5. And today we return, as I said, to the coffee conversation and take a look at the feedback and insight of my beloved Pure Portugal communitarians who cast their glance and scrutiny over Portuguese coffee's 15 variations on the little bingo card that I prepared. But before we take another shot at coffee or of coffee and hear what they all said, let's look at today's vocabulary, namely gelado, for reasons that will become apparent, the pingado, abatanado, and até amanhã.
Até amanhã.
Até amanhã.
Até amanhã.
Até amanhã. Just 4 words today that will be weaving into the podcast. And I suspect, as with so many matters of our daily lives, in Portugal or anywhere, there'll be no definitive answers, only definite possibilities. What we can gain from this coffee controversy, of course, is a chance to practice, understand, and experiment with the language. So here now with my Pure Portugal communitarians, Judith, when asked about how many of these 15 coffees have you tried, and if you want to go through the 15, have a look at the episode number 3 of this week, Wednesdays. And Judith was straight in. She said 6 of the 15. Pretty good. Tracy said, I stick with my pingado. It's the most perfect coffee on the planet for me. Bravo, Portugal! Pingado is also, of course, a coffee, as we just heard there, but it also means dripped. So a little bit more vocab for you. Pingado, dripped. Steve, never heard a Portuguese person asked for an espresso. Never. It's a cafe or a bica everywhere I've been. Manu says it's a bica only in Lisbon, on cafe everywhere else. And Raquel adds cimbalinho is used in Porto, and that's a reference to the machine, I believe, the Cimbal coffee machine. Kevin says, I've only ever heard tourists ask for an espresso. And Manu comes back on that. Actually, the term bica originated in Lisbon to pour coffee from a machine into a cup with a bica, i.e. the spout. Edith says, I can't remember the name, but I heard there was another word in Porto using the name of the Brazilian coffee machine. Yes, that is the cimbalinho, as said earlier. And Susanna agrees the word used in Porto is cimbalinho. Keith says, what's the name for the small coffee served with a shot of liquor that they seem to have half a dozen of before going to work? Coffee con cheirinho, coffee with smell, says Susanna. Zara says, what I order isn't even on there. There must be even more variations. Butanado, anyone? Manu says, I guess you mean abatanado. That's another one of our vocabulary words today. Abatanado, which means tossed, I believe. Abatanado. So that's good if you want to try a different sort of coffee. Or maybe you're talking about salads or goodness knows what when you use the word tossed. Marie says, I found this handy chart in my Portuguese cooking book. It's another 30 coffees there. We have not tried half of them as I got hooked on galao. And that is a favourite of quite a few people, the galao. Annie says, galao direto. Paige says, can someone further explain the difference between cheio and duplo? I so miss the coffee in Portugal, says Paige. I cannot wait to be there again, and I will be ordering the cheio or duplo from now on. My understanding is cheio is one coffee shot with water on top, topped up with water, and the duplo is like a double espresso, basically. Okay. Katia says all of them, all 15. Must be some sort of award for that from Portuguese Coffee. Maya says, how funny and fascinating is this? So refreshing to see so many variants and only tried 2 of them. I guess the variations in the coffee must mirror the complexity of the language in some subtle way, and with it the psyche of the Portuguese people. Just lovely. That's fantastic. What a great way of looking at it, Maya. This is when I found my new chart in Tamar with 12 more coffees. The now legendary Café Constipado. They describe for €1.30 you get a Café Constipado, which is coffee and ice cream. Gelado, right? That's part of your vocabulary today. Gelado, ice cream. It's a affogato, isn't it, in Italy? A lovely blob of a delicious Italian vanilla ice cream with an espresso poured on top. But looking at the picture, it's not like that at all. It looks like coffee on the bottom with ice cream floating in the top.
Portuguese coffee is made from a blend of stories that came from all around the world and that are transformed in a different way. That makes Portuguese coffee unique.
You are so awesome. Thank you very much for giving me all of that feedback and insight. So, até amanhã. It's Carl Munson signing off, thinking about Café Constipado and baked beans. What could possibly go wrong?
Start your day with a Portuguese coffee and life will smile at you. Celebrate friendship with a Portuguese coffee.